Hey guys, welcome back to Camille's Corner. It's been a while. I know I took a break from on here. I didn't think I would be back, but y'all, they're suing everybody out here, okay? And y'all know I love a good defamation case. So I think I'll be back to follow this one and the Tasha K appeal as well because she's not letting it go. But it's like there's something in the air, y'all. Everybody's been getting sued for defamation lately. Cardi B versus Tasha K, Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, and now Nicki Minaj versus Nosey Heaux. Y'all, when I saw the Nosey Heaux one, it was like deja vu. Okay, it's like Cardi B and Tasha K all over again. And I was like, I looked at it for a couple days and I was thinking, should I get back on YouTube to follow this one? Because it's likely going to drag on for a couple years, just like the Tasha K one. And I don't know if I'm that invested to follow this thing for a few years again, but I'm really interested to see how this one plays out because it is very similar to the Tasha K one, but it's also very different. So it could go either way. But right now, I think I'm leaning towards Nosey Heaux winning. Now, let me just say, I am not a supporter of Nosey Heaux. Okay, I would like to distance myself from anything that girl does on her platform. I have watched her like a few times when I used to be on here before, and her style of blogging has always just been like a little disturbing to me. Okay, she says things that no normal person would say, like talking about children in the way she does. I don't know, but to me, children are always off limits. I don't care who their parents are. You don't attack children and say those kinds of things about children. And I also feel like, she goes too far with some of the things that she says. Like, there's a way to express an opinion without being nasty about it. And to me, she and Tasha K are like very similar in the way they speak about people. Like, they say the most outlandish things, usually with no proof to back it up. And they don't come across as if they're blogging. They come across as if they're attacking the people they're talking about. Like, they have a personal issue with them. So, yeah, I am not a Nosey Heaux supporter at all. But when it comes to this lawsuit, I do think she has a very strong case. So, before I get into why I'm on her side in this whole lawsuit drama, just a disclaimer, I am not a lawyer. There are actual lawyers on YouTube covering this. So if you want an informed legal perspective, check out one of their channels. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a person fascinated by these defamation cases, okay? And I mean, defamation is something very relevant in my line of work, so I'm always interested in these types of cases. But nothing I say is an expert opinion. It's just me trying to use my common sense to understand these cases. And, I think I have a good track record because I was completely right about the Tasha K one when everybody was saying, she was going to win and people were dragging me and calling me stupid. I was confident that she was going to lose. Like, from even before there was a lawsuit, I was doing videos about the things that she was saying, and I would be like, why hasn't Cardi B sued this woman yet? And people would be in my comments like cursing me out and saying, Cardi B can't sue her because there's nothing to sue for, blah, blah, blah. But I was right. So let's see if I will be right about this one. So if you don't know what is going on, basically, Nicki Minaj has sued a blogger named Nosey Heaux for defamation because Nosey Heaux did a video calling her a cokehead and saying that she uses coke. Nicki says she has never used coke. And this is kind of similar to the Tasha K case because Tasha K had also said that Cardi B used cocaine. She also said Cardi B had herpes and cheated on her husband and she was a prostitute and a whole bunch of stuff. But there were also cocaine allegations in that case as well. Now, in Nosey Heaux's case, it's just one defamatory statement where she said Nicki uses coke, and she didn't say it as an opinion. She flat out said that the woman uses coke and that she's not saying allegedly because she knew that for a fact. This is the video that started this whole lawsuit.
Shoveling all this cocaine up her nose. Allegedly. Thank you. Allegedly. But we all know it's true. Listen, I can't even say allegedly with that because we know it's true. I'm not saying allegedly on that. Nicki Minaj is a cokehead. We all see it. Her husband is a rapist. We all saw that. I covered that for weeks. Weeks of covering the Surviving the Petty story.
So I pulled up the actual lawsuit, and what I'm gonna do is just read through it and I'll interject with my commentary as I go along. So you can see here Nicki Minaj, who is Nicki Minaj, she is suing Nosey Heaux. Nosey Heaux's real name is Marley Green, aka Carol Green. And Nicki also wants a jury trial, which I think is important. I'll get to that in a minute. But the lawsuit begins by laying out the complaint. It says, this action is brought to vindicate the reputation of plaintiff, a superstar artist who is known as Nicki Minaj. Y'all, this is important to me because it's like it's saying Nosey Heaux calling Nicki a cokehead has harmed Nicki's reputation. And I don't know if that's true because Nosey Heaux is not the first person to publicly say that Nicki Minaj uses cocaine. And Nosey Heaux has 17,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is her biggest platform. 17,000 subscribers might seem like a lot, but when you compare it to somebody like Remy Ma, it's nothing. Remy Ma has 9.6 million followers on Instagram and 255,000 subscribers on YouTube. And Remy Ma also claimed in her song Sheetha that Nicki Minaj uses coke when she said that line about, I might leak the footage of you sniffing them ski slopes. That was a direct insinuation that Nicki Minaj sniffs coke, and Remy Ma said she had a video of that. So my point is, Remy Ma has way more reach and influence than Nosey Heaux does. And Remy Ma saying that didn't get her sued. But Nicki is now suing Nosey Heaux. That's one. Two, Azalea Banks has also claimed publicly that Nicki Minaj uses cocaine, several times actually. And Azalea Banks has close to 900,000 followers. If you search through YouTube, y'all, you will find videos from years ago with bloggers outright saying that Nicki Minaj does coke. And she has never sued any of them. So it's just kind of strange to me that, she would say Nosey Heaux, saying that has damaged her reputation, but those are, claims and allegations that's been out there for a while. This isn't something that is new. This isn't something that Nosey Heaux just came out with recently. People have been saying this about Nicki for a long time. And I'm talking about people with way more followers, way more influence, way more reach than Nosey Heaux has. So if Nicki's reputation has been hurt by people saying she does coke, it's not just from Nosey Heaux saying it. It's from all these other people saying it as well. Because those people, like I said, they have way more influence and reach than Nosey Heaux has. Okay, so moving on. The defendants herein have outrageously defamed plaintiff by posting a video on their Twitter page in which defendant Marley Green, who goes by the name of Nosey Heaux, falsely and maliciously stated that plaintiff is a cokehead who is shoving all this cocaine up her nose. Y'all, I don't mean to laugh. It's just like, I don't know what kind of blogging makes people think it's even okay to make these kinds of comments. Like, I'm not even defending Nosey Heaux's comments. I just think, like, why would you even say that in the first place? Do I think it's suable? No. But why would you say something like that? Like, I don't know. I don't know. People are crazy. But anyway, further evidencing a fundamental lack of decency, Green has also posted vile comments about plaintiff's 1-year-old son. While these comments are not actionable, they nonetheless demonstrate why punitive damages should be awarded in this case. Now, this is what I was talking about when I said Nosey Heaux goes too far, okay? She has made some very disgusting comments about Nicki's child, and there's just no way to defend that. It's just so outlandish and nasty to say those types of things about a child. And, I don't even feel comfortable repeating what she said. So if you want to know, you can go do your own research. Just know that, she said some very disturbing things about Nicki's child, and it's indefensible. I just don't get the reason for speaking about children like that. Anyway, carrying on. In a different age, Green's lie would have been meaningless because she is the ultimate nobody. On information and belief, a person whose main accomplishments in life have been a string of criminal charges, bail jumping, and bad debts. But this is the age of social media, one in which a nobody can find an undeserved following through relentless self promotion. Green is one of those nobodies, as she posts content belonging to her wholly owned company, blah, 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 on multiple social media platforms. One of those platforms is the Nosey Heaux Live Twitter page, which inexplicably has approximately 3,300 followers. So that's even less than she has on YouTube. Green therefore has the means to publish a lie, knowing that it will metastatize as it is retweeted by her followers, and then further retweeted by the followers of her followers, and so on. This is what has happened here. In just the day following Green's September 12, 2022 publication of her lie that plaintiff is a cokehead on her Twitter page, almost 2,000 people had liked it. More importantly, more than 260 people had retweeted it, which led to a firestorm of social media attention, which was undoubtedly caused by multiple levels of subsequent retweets. While social media is an extraordinarily effective vehicle for spreading lies, it does not confer a license to do so. Okay, so my thing is, again, compare 2,000 people liking Nosey Heaux's video to the millions of people that liked and shared Sheetha, or that liked and shared Azalea Banks' comments. Like, these cocaine allegations have been around long before Nosey Heaux, and it has reached a far wider audience than Nosey Heaux could ever reach. Carrying on. And, y'all, this is the part that really shows you what this lawsuit is really about. It has nothing to do with the cocaine comments because, like I said, those have been around for years, and they've been spread by people way more influential than Nosey Heaux, and those people have never been sued. This part of the lawsuit, this is the part that tells you what this lawsuit is really about. On information and belief, and as discovery will likely reveal, Green has been acting as a proxy for another performer who, mistakenly believing that she and plaintiff are stars of equal stature, has repeatedly used other social media intermediaries in a hopeless effort to advance her career at plaintiff's expense. However, the fact that Green was acting at the behest of another does not make her conduct less egregious or excuse her from the consequences of the damages she has caused plaintiff to suffer. Clearly, they are referring to Cardi B here. And it's interesting that, Nicki is accusing Cardi B of being behind Nosey Heaux's antics because Nicki herself follows and interacts with a lot of blogs and pages that they don't do anything but attack Cardi B. Tasha K, Black Tea Blog, On Site, Mob Radio, random fan pages on Twitter that post like the nastiest things about Cardi B's children. Nicki follows and interacts with them. Meanwhile, Cardi B has never had any public interaction with Nosey Heaux. She's never mentioned her. She's never liked a post. She doesn't follow her on social media. She's never shared a video. Nothing that I can see to attach Cardi B to this woman. And Nosey Heaux herself says she has never met or spoken to Cardi B. And, in fact, Nosey Heaux drags Cardi B almost as much as she drags Nicki. So I'm like, where did this part of this lawsuit come from? Y'all, I think trying to link Cardi B to this lawsuit is crazy, and it just shows you just how much Nicki Minaj hates Cardi B. I don't know if it's paranoia or what, but it's like everything negative that happens to her, she finds a way to blame Cardi B. And I mean, if Nicki is so sure that Cardi B is behind all of this, then sue Cardi B. Y'all, to me, this is just a wild accusation, again, with nothing to back it up because she hates Cardi B that much. Meanwhile, if y'all remember when Cardi B was suing Tasha K, Nicki and Tasha K were buddies. They were like buddying up to each other. Tasha K calls Nicki her close colleague. They were doing this stuff publicly. And nowhere in Cardi B's lawsuit did Cardi B try to blame Nicki for the stuff that Tasha K was doing. Although it would have been believable if she did, because we saw them interacting with each other publicly. But there is nothing to connect Cardi B to Nosey Heaux. Now, the rest of the lawsuit is just talking about who Nicki is, the amount she's suing for, which is no less than $75,000. That doesn't mean that she will win $75,000 if she wins. It just means that this is the minimum amount that she's demanding. I think it was the same thing Cardi B did. Everybody thought Cardi B was suing for $75,000 when she sued Tasha K. And Tasha K was laughing, saying, that's nothing to her. Because she really thought if Cardi B won, she would only have to pay $75,000. But we see how that turned out. Now she's on the hook for $4 million. So this $75,000 thing is just a formality. That is not the actual amount that will be awarded if Nicki wins. Now, number 15 on the lawsuit is the part that makes me believe Nosey Heaux has a strong case, okay? It says Green, on behalf of herself and her LLC, made the Green video statement with actual malice in that they either knew that it was false or knew that there was a high probability that it was false. This is the major difference between the Cardi B lawsuit and this lawsuit to me. The whole actual malice standard, because a defamation case is very difficult for a celebrity to win. That's why few celebrities have actually won defamation cases, because they're public figures and the law recognizes that public figures are going to be talked about. They are going to be scrutinized. They are going to be criticized. They're going to have people saying negative things about them from time to time. That is the nature of being in the public eye. But you can't sue everybody who has a negative opinion about you. So to prevent celebrities from just bringing, frivolous lawsuits against anybody who speaks about them, the law says they have to prove actual malice. And malice in this sense, it doesn't mean ill will. It means, did the person that you're suing know that what they were saying was false? Even if Nicki does a drug test and she proves that she has never used cocaine, that is not enough to satisfy what the law requires, because she now has to prove that Nosey Heaux knew it was false. And I don't think Nicki can prove that Nosey Heaux knew that the cocaine allegations were false, because like I said, it's been a rumor attached to her name for years. Other people have said it. Nicki has denied it, but there's also a video of her saying, if you want to know her drugs of choice, listen to her music.
All you gotta do if you want to know my drug of choice or my drugs of choice, just listen to my music, child.
And people have been pointing out, well, you have several lyrics in your music referring to cocaine use. And, normally a person's lyrics can't be used against them in court. Or I guess Tasha K would not have lost so badly, because Cardi B also has lyrics about, sleeping with men for money, doing drugs and stuff. But the court didn't allow those to be used against her in her case with Tasha K. So it's probably unlikely that a court would allow Nicki's lyrics to be used against her. I think a good lawyer may be able to work that in, but I guess that's all up in the air. I have no idea how that's going to work out. I think what is going to hurt Nicki's chances of proving actual malice is the fact that she didn't send Nosey a cease and desist before she filed this lawsuit. Courts love cease and desist demands because it shows a record of you telling the person outright, like, hey, this is false. You can't say this about me. So then the person can't say that they didn't know it was false. Like in Cardi B's case, she had sent Tasha K several cease and desist letters before she finally sued her. So Tasha K couldn't say that she didn't know the statements were false because Cardi B was telling her they were false all along. So, Tasha K decided, okay, well, she's going to disregard those letters and continue to make those statements to taunt Cardi B. And I think if Nicki had sent Nosey a cease and desist first, then if Nosey continued to make the statements afterwards, then Nicki's case would have been a little stronger. And y'all, there's also the giant elephant in the room. So, Nosey Heaux is the blogger who first gave a platform to Kenneth Petty's accuser, Jennifer Hough. Kenneth Petty is Nicki Minaj's husband who was convicted of attempted rape back in 1994, and Jennifer Hough is the victim in that case. So Nosey Heaux has interviewed Jennifer several times on her platform. She has been advocating for her, and she's been supporting her in her current lawsuit against Kenneth Petty. So you can see why Nicki is targeting her and not all the other people who have made the same cocaine comments. It's giving, she has an axe to grind with Nosey. Okay, it's also coming across as though, she's trying to link Cardi B to everything that has happened with Jennifer Hough. And if she links Cardi B to Nosey Heaux, then people are going to blame Cardi B. They're going to say Cardi B is the one who put Jennifer Hough up to all of this. They're going to say Cardi B probably paid Jennifer to make these claims against Nicki and her husband, and Cardi B is going to be blamed for that entire situation. So that is what I think this lawsuit really. It is just another attempt by Nicki Minaj to attack and destroy Cardi B. That's what it's looking like to me. And that's unfortunate because, okay, let's be clear, right? Cardi B was not the reason that Jennifer Hough resurfaced. Jennifer Hough resurfaced to defend herself after Nicki started spreading stuff that, she was a white woman who was in a relationship with Kenneth Petty. Now, if you're a victim of rape and you see a huge celebrity telling the world that you were in a relationship with your attacker, you would probably want to come forward and set the record straight and tell your side of the story. So Jennifer resurfacing and everything that has happened since then, that is a direct result of Nicki speaking publicly about her, not Cardi B. So it's crazy to me, the way she's trying to link Cardi B to this whole situation. It's like she thinks that she could. And that's another thing. Nicki is saying that her reputation has been damaged by Nosey Heaux calling her a cokehead. Nicki is going to have to prove the damage to her reputation. And Nicki's reputation has already been going downhill, and it has nothing to do with Nosey calling her a cokehead. Her reputation was damaged when people found out about her husband's history. Like her reputation was already hanging on by a thread because of that. So she's going to have to prove that Nosey Heaux calling her a cokehead somehow had a worse effect on her reputation than that giant elephant in the room. And I suspect that Nosey Heaux's attorneys are going to argue like, you can't hurt somebody's reputation whose reputation has already gone to shit. Now, going back to the jury demand, I said earlier, I think that's important. And I think it's because, Nicki is a huge celebrity. Everybody knows who she is. I don't care who you are, you have heard of Nicki Minaj. Okay, she has a massive fan base. People from all walks of life, from all ages, all races. Her influence goes far. And barbs do operate like a cult. So it is going to be hard to find people to be on a jury that do not know of her, that aren't fawning over her, that aren't impressed by her celebrity status. And all she needs is one die-hard barb to be on a jury, and they will not be impartial. They will approach that case like a stan. But, I do think this case is not going to be as easy for Nicki to win as it was for Cardi B, because the whole actual malice standard hasn't been met to me, okay? In Cardi B's case, there was actual video of Tasha K admitting that she knew the stuff she was saying was false, but she didn't care. So the actual malice standard was met there. All Cardi B had to do was play that video in court. But in Nicki's case, it's not going to be as easy to prove actual malice unless Nosey Heaux keeps making the comments. Y'all, if it's one thing I learned from the Tasha K case is when you're being sued, you don't talk about the case. Tasha K kept going on and on and on, just digging the hole deeper and giving Cardi B more to add to the lawsuit. If Tasha K had shut up, she would have won. But she kept going after the lawsuit was filed, and she just gave Cardi B more evidence to use against her. So that would be my advice to Nosey Heaux. Just shut up about it. The case is weak as it stands, but if she keeps going and she keeps antagonizing Nicki and she keeps making these comments, she's going to slip up just like Tasha K did, and she's going to give Nicki more to use against her. So just let the lawsuit play out in court and not on YouTube. That's just my 2 cents. I also want to say people need to give Cardi B a lot more credit than they do. Because when Cardi B sued Tasha K, she was dragged for it. People were saying, she's too thin-skinned, she can't handle criticism, she wants to sue everybody who doesn't like her, she's bullying black blogs. Y'all, mind you, the black blog that she was supposedly bullying was spreading lies about her having STDs and giving them to her child. But people's hate for Cardi B wouldn't let them see, the bigger picture. Cardi B fought for exactly what Nicki is doing right now. Cardi B set that precedent. So Nicki could even cite it in her case against Nosey Heaux. Cardi B did it, and she made it easier for others to do it after her. Okay, because bloggers on YouTube have been saying, the craziest things about celebrities and getting away with it. But after Cardi B, people have been a little more careful with what they say because they don't want that lawsuit smoke. So what Cardi B did benefited Nicki Minaj and every other celebrity who's targeted by blogs that just make up lies. So Nicki suing Nosey Heaux, as misguided as I think that lawsuit is, this is what Cardi B was fighting for. Okay, just like she came in the rap industry and she took the heat by not bowing down to Nicki so the door could be opened to all these other girls, she took the heat for suing Tasha K so the door could be opened for every celebrity who feels like they are being defamed by bloggers. So if Nicki somehow wins this case, she has Cardi B to thank for making that fight a little bit easier for her. So that's my thoughts on this whole case, y'all. The excitement of it all brought me out of my YouTube hiatus, and I think I want to follow it as it progresses. I think I want to follow the Tasha K appeal as well. I was going to do an update on that in this video, but this video turned out to be longer than I planned, so I'll save that for another video. I also want to follow, there's this lawsuit that people were telling me about on live last night. Apparently there's this blogger named Kimberly something, I can't recall her last name right now, but apparently she was doxxed and threatened by Bobs, and she's going after them. She says she's going to be suing them. So I think if she does, that would be a landmark case as well, because, how often do you see stans being sued and held accountable for the things that they're doing in the name of these celebrities? That doesn't happen often, right? So if she does file this lawsuit, it's going to be very interesting to follow. I would love to see how that one plays out. So anyway, y'all let me know what you think about this new Nosey Heaux lawsuit in the comment section, and fill me in on anything I missed on these YouTube streets. Bye guys, and thanks for watching.